Omuba Omiano wa bon na yiri di Sledge-Blast. Dr. Sledge na to go na odeka 97 million. Omuba Omia yire no o di Sledge-Blast, but Omia does not have brains to think.
So as I'm talking to you, Kevin Eko Bedu Taylor, finally, Edenano Ababeto Goldboard in Sensemu, Sammy Gyamfi, and the Afenyo-Markin in Semaches Eko so on social media. No, Kevin Eko Bedu Taylor and Sema or the air to channel were free lane so. At TSMU, a doctor, Mahmoud Baumia, and then Samira Baumia Akachi. Now, Chidimua, or say Dr. Mahmoud Baumia, and I friend says Samira, Edi, Dr. Sledge-Blast. Sounds more kind, a lot of people are drinking a yomona, Kakrase, Odinechi saying, Odinechi, say, Omo ye deaing. Kevin Okobedu Taylor, maybe see a cornea cocotti anywhere. I don't want to talk much. Tiensema Kevin Taylor, Edituja, Ebra.
No, take over officially to be dealing with Bank of Ghana as a middle agency, and I say intermediary. After a year, the Parliament of Ghana can say Afenyo Goldboard monster tie juma. From 2025 until Parliament Eshem say Goldboard to me to Goldma Bank of Ghana no na a PMMC any day Bank of Ghana any dijuma. So Sammy Gyamfi, the Goldboard had been established, but they didn't have control on the buying of gold for the Bank of Ghana because PMMC were still doing that job until Parliament gave Goldboard right to buy. Into a Goldboard, Parliament is here and I'm say ya jimwatum emrano chese ebomuchino. That is when Sammy Gyamfi started buying gold for the Bank of Ghana. And I'm saying Sammy Gyamfi because on the leading Goldboard. Now, the question here is, and the MPP for Abba say, hey, Aseme si. Now Aseme ne si. MPP for say Sammy Gyamfi boka. Remember, time na NPP were power from 2021 to 2025 onto Goldboard Parliament ejitum so muyejuma. Omo boka over $400 million. Sa time no MPP yebusa omo say adena Goldboard adena PMMC aboka omo say Bank of Ghana na aboka. That is what Baumia Afenyo-Markin when sankwasi afo ka kire. That time na PMMC boka over 400 million in the name say omo to gold ma Bank of Ghana no. Baumia and this MP for ka kire say sa ekana over $400 million no. Bank of Ghana na abo na enye PMMC. Intima me yembe blame PMMC, yem blame Bank of Ghana. Now, ye the demand ya bedru hanne. Ghana Auditor General, aye audit of Goldboard, sikasem, also who problem ya. Yes, IMF phobia throw a report. Na sa report ni muno. Yes, the IMF say the Goldboard aboka 1.7 billion. Now the question here is, Ghana Auditor General report, what does it say? And where in that IMF report, and explicitly, I can't directly say Goldboard aboka 1.7 billion. Where in that report of IMF and explicitly say Goldboard aboka. Remember, when a Bank of Ghana does not give money to Goldboard, Goldboard cannot buy gold. It is recently and a Goldboard they want to do that on their own, but without money coming from Bank of Ghana, the Goldboard, since its established inception, could not go into the market to buy gold because the constitution frowns on them buying gold themselves until say the Bank of Ghana say they can fund it themselves. So Tama Sammy Gyamfi Eddie Goldboard a leader no. Goldboard were taking money from Bank of Ghana to buy gold for them. Now let's keep it simple. MPP for say Sammy Gyamfi ameka bi nchiramo. Menoti hai sika saying na Goldboard e de abre Ghana. Enfa so ban yenya woso. E de na ayama Ghana. Since the Goldboard the buy no. Ye gold that you tune Ghana no. Ghana as a nation from time Kwame Nkrumah abreso be sin ne. Enfa so ban pa na yenya. Yenya himself for now as we speak. Goldboard in a year it me making a profit of $15 billion. $15 billion. Now, because of Jumadia Goldboard AD and the economy, the ecoso, inflation about form, how the dollar and me overcoming the city. It is because of the introduction of a Juma Goldboard, Ayama Bank of Ghana. The intermediary job at Goldboard, etime raise sika, Ayama Bank of Ghana. And no Abuama finance minister, etime sika, and making sure say your economy no ejina naso. It is all a businessman. Nande, one would say dollar nijina 10, 11. Now with Juma cost now we faswa. Because of the inception of Goldboard, the way they were able to go into the market, Abra Bank of Ghana more musika to buy gold to make money for Ghana. Now, so we go back and you look at the influencer Goldboard, the positive influencer Goldboard, Enyanwo, Ghana economy nuswa. Our economy is growing, jobs and opportunity. Now, when you look at it, from 2022, ever to 2023, you saw a GDP growth. As we speak today, GDP in 2026 is 6.4. In 2022, time about Umiawoho, gold for oil, the GDP growth was 3.8. 2023, it went to 3.1. 2024, it was at 5.7. In just less than 2 years, because of the introduction of Goldboard and making sure that Ghana will sikada hono, your GDP right now is at 6.4. It shows you say the introduction of Goldboard, save your cocoa and jumana cocoa and the Goldboard bemu mujisika Bank of Ghana edidi juma edisika befienti. Today our economy is stable. We will go to where the MPP is coming from and I'll take care of that. But my conversation way I a simple amount. The MPP before your time Sammy Gyamfi. Afenyo-Markin. The all yenano your time Sammy Gyamfi. MPP for him say Goldboard as this thing quadia, there's no way MPP will come to power again. That is their problem. MPP as a political party, from Bawumia to the last fleshman in the MPP, they know say the game changer is Goldboard. And John Mahama Niminyan saw this Sammy Gyamfi. It is personal, a hatred towards Sammy Gyamfi. And then they are against Ghana's economy doing what? Doing well, because Goldboard has shown significant impact on our economy. Whether you like it or not, whether you like Sammy Gyamfi or not, whether you are against the NDC or not, the impact that Goldboard I hear on our economy is huge. It is big. Now, when you look at some of the positives through the works of Goldboard, buying gold the right way, protecting our reserve, making sure Obi or Ghana be able to gold legitimately, gold be free Ghana and come and do business. That positive side, and then Ama Ghana is sick as a major. In time for him. Until they destroy Goldboard, they know say they can never come to power. And that is what they are doing. Because Ubusom say, at this point, Munjina Swan DN say Goldboard aboka 1.7 billion. Munchechima, almost an inchechim, but then you say, Sammy Gyamfi Mwadie, Goldboard Disika, I am a factual report to be Yenny a Tian Kwaho. And you knew a situation before and now. And we will choose that situation today. Because in your anticipate day, we are seeing significant increase in how our economy is doing. Now, prices rising slower. Now, and because of the introduction of Goldboard. Any Jumadi and Sikamu pumping war system over 15 billion in tea. We are looking at inflation from 23 at a point in our history. And the MPP gold for oil, now inflation on 54. Today, because of the introduction of Goldboard and the way we are able to pump money to help the economy, keep dollars, our inflation are dropping from 54. NPP every power. Now, gymnastics Azadi 23, but today we are talking about 5.3. Yakasa inflation, normal boarding, and the NDC are test about 5.3. Goldboard has been in power or existence in less than 2 years, and this is the impact. Sammy Gyamfi Goldboard na here. Me mana a basic amount. Bro, from TV so can omo Jimmy, omo nim keka. Wona me reading come me hu the echo, because the NPP knows as far as John Mahama's Goldboard exists, they can never come to power. Because it is the bedrock, it is the backbone, it is what is driving this country. Gold, cocoa, and daso for years, people have been able to do what? Destroy cocoa, and we are reforming cocoa sector. A new policy is coming, but in the meantime, John Mahama to me the Goldboard aba, I regularize the gold and this ebefi into the MP for Bakanya and say, Yanko chat run to Sammy Gyamfi so. Yanko kase Goldboard waboka inti ebasana no montam Ghana my send ebe to me abeden abedi omatro. It is not working. Now, we can also move forward and see the impact of Goldboard. We are address sa ekanasem. The country owes less. Now, me busa o Ghana ni awhweme Ghana pa ehini enye sika free. John Mahama ba power, NPP ba, NDC ba power. Busa wo say na John Mahama aban wo munye sika free na wo chichire man no. And Yeah, kwan baby. Kumasi Accra Express Road. Yeah, see hospitals. Yeah, electrification. But I will say, way because we all know, say right now the cocoa sector, they are now doing reforms to get it back on its feet. It is Goldboard. And then the MPP cannot stand because Mahamudu Bawumia cannot make any statement. Because the question will be simple. The Goldboard that was introduced by the NDC is savvy or minor. He has nothing to say because he was given the opportunity. He connived with the criminals. They stole our money through gold for oil. But this is a situation the government comes, a president comes, put together Goldboard, and our economy is now sustainable. The question here is, we are Ghana now, Shami. Busa, I won't say this free. In Ghana, GRA. GRA. From GRA. How many people pay taxes in Ghana? 6 in 10 businesses fail to properly account for VAT. So we 10 companies in Ghana, 6 businesses. Omuntumimpo enkasa VAT we ya JVAT sikani nie ya bede ya diskani ma amino. Into busango se sikani free. Most of us, our businesses don't pay taxes. Into the sudden change, our economy will grow, jumeba, sikana jana nasono. Busango se free. It is the introduction of the Goldboard. The amount of money omutima pumping into the system through buying gold for Bank of Ghana. Into men what you say. Sikabi magically free baby bow. It is the inception of Goldboard. The way diligently they are doing the job, buying the gold, protecting the gold, guiding us, making sure they protect our environment, stop illegal air smuggling, and then they are bedruha into the NPP. They have taken notice. Omunim say, so we can try to Sammy Gyamfi so. Create impression be Sammy Gyamfi aboka no. The Goldboard is saving you and I. We are businessman. Nende, who took quite 3 weeks now, but it is because of the introduction of Goldboard helping the Bank of Ghana to do what? To get money, for us to get dollar, to protect our economy. Realistically, 10 out of 10 business, 6 out of 10 businesses in Ghana, if you have a country where 6 in 10 businesses, how can you build a road? How can you build a school? How can you do all that you are doing? Keep the lights on. It is because the Goldboard is making a difference. Oma tenase. The omo yana deliberate. Omo said that 1992. Kanembe no kre katro jandam. It's not working. Now, may I go back to the Goldboard matter. Now, fe yanko eyiniso. The issue itself. Yes, Sammy Gyamfi. Goldboard na boka. Now, let me tell you something. When it comes to taking decisions to save a nation's economy, say who ufie na say opa say ufie no say be utumi keeping up. There's something we call it should come with costs. Now, when I say it should come with costs, there's a difference between costs and loss. Costs and losses. So do sika she bibim. With the mentality says, Sikana would shame at the end of the day, or say a yielded results be that moment, Sikana would shame it is your cost. Now, when you want to revamp how gold is mined, you want to get a lot of revenue from gold that you know Ghana. It's not just saying somebody Goldboard. No. So be one can be a Goldboard. You need something we call a drastic action. You yourself, you need to feel the pain. Now, if you say Goldboard aboka, let's say it's also Goldboard aboka. Now, in the report, it shows clearly Goldboard technically were working for Bank of Ghana. If the Bank of Ghana had a problem with Goldboard, they would have stopped Goldboard from doing what? Buying gold for them. But the Bank of Ghana did not do that. The Bank of Ghana was still doing business with Goldboard. Because Goldboard can only be effective when they get money from the Bank of Ghana. Now, that report now, IMF Troy now, the MPP are rallying behind it, Sir reported the IMF was basically saying, you cannot come out with Goldboard and decide to make drastic decisions to bring in revenue without having costs involved. When you put together Goldboard, so what's the Goldboard? How is it going to be effective? Say Goldboard Jessica, Bank of Ghana, that's what I say, the drama Bank of Ghana. Anybody can do it. Send a PMMC and Baumia at the intina over $15 billion like Goldboard. It is because the cost involved to make sure you seal the loopholes for Bank of Ghana to understand and have confidence in you. It comes with a cost. It's a cost. Now, I'm going to show the difference. What is making the MPP struggle to understand the report of the IMF? Now, when you take your time and ask yourself these two questions, the simplest way to understand it, costs Yɛka sɛ cost what you give up to achieve something. I will explain something to you. And yɛka sɛ loss when what you get back is worthless than what you put in. Enti yɛka sɛ obi abɔ car meaning sɛ ɔde sika kɔhyɛ adwuma bi mu ɛna ɔde 10 million kɔhyɛ mu no owie no sika ɛba back ne 1 million wabɔ car. Na yɛka sɛ cost sika wode hyɛ bibi mu ana de wode hyɛ bibi mu at the end of the day no you achieve something bigger, meaning no matter how you look at it, you need to invest if you really want to make revenue. And it's Bank of Ghana and the Goldboard, I catch up said the Goldboard technically they have made more money for Ghana, but MPP for said no. Goldboard has made a loss because they are trying to put together cost and loss. Now, some people say yes, simple, but at a point in our life, not a team like Manchester City, no more we need trophies. A team like PSG, no more we need trophies. Why do you think today Manchester City is one of the biggest clubs in the world? Because Arab Fonbeto team, they told themselves, we want to be also seen as one of the greatest teams in the world. So what did they do? They had to put money. So they had a plan. But before that plan can work, we need an expensive coach, Guardiola. We need expensive stadium. We need to put money in and do what? Rebrand the team. We have to make sure every player we buy is an expensive player. What Man City management did was that they knew to be part of one of the greatest teams in the world, to win Champions League, to win World Club Championship, to be recognized, it comes with a cost. It comes at a cost. Without you putting in, because their target was that they wanted to win the Champions League. Their target was that they wanted to be counted as one of the greatest teams around. Their plan was that they wanted to have a good coach. Now, it comes with a cost. Even though at the end of the day, say, cost, say, idea, say, the results be, then that cost can never be a loss. Now, Manchester City, etamusika, and of the share, a team. The idea was that today's cost should yield something better. Now, we are talking about Manchester City from nowhere has become one of the greatest teams in the world. Now, how many Champions League the Manchester City have? So many of them. Do you know how much money they got from it? How many Club World Championships the Manchester City have? So many of them. Do you know how much money they made from it? Today, you cannot poach a Manchester City player because you need billions. Now, the cost they put in building the team, has it become a loss or it has become what we call something positive? At that moment when they were putting the money in, it was a cost. Now, Manchester City have made so much money that some of the 5 billion in Shema today, the end game is that they have made 20 billion. Are you going to say, when they were spending, when the cost was going on, you are going to say they made losses? They didn't make any loss. So when you want to change something, you need to understand, a cost needs to happen. And that cost is not a loss. And then as Sammy Gyamfi, Bank of Ghana, I'm explaining, I'm a forecatcher Ghana for Ghana to bring in Goldboard, for Goldboard to make a difference, we need a cost. It comes with a cost. It comes with technology. It comes with, so the gold buying, Bank of Ghana giving Goldboard money to go into the system. It's not just going to work in the system and buying gold. You need to make sure, nobody can steal gold from Ghana. You need to make sure the smuggling stops. You need to make sure every gold that you are buying is legitimately mined. You need to make sure the system, people are doing the right thing. It comes at a cost. Why didn't PMMC do it? Because they didn't have the mind. Into so because you say Goldboard Aboka 1.7 billion. Sammy Gyamfi said no, that was a cost. It's administrative cost, meaning you would need that to get to the $15 billion. There's nowhere that anybody can sit, any economist can sit and say Goldboard has made losses. Goldboard made 15 billion. Let's say Goldboard Sasika must say 1.7 billion, any 15 billion. How did we arrive at 15 billion? It is because of the cost we put in there. So when you are recording the books, Ghana Goldboard Aboka 1.7 billion. The fact of the case is it was a cost. And until from the beginning, Goldboard Kacham said this is an administrative cost. Because before you can get the 15 billion, you cannot just say it. You just have to make sure you put things in place. Into who in your right senses, one in Goldboard Aboka. Today, the Black Stars of Ghana, we want to win the African Cup of Nations. How are we going to do it? The GFA needs to commit to a coach that is expensive, experienced. When that coach comes, he might want a backroom staff. We need to pay. That coach might come and say, you know something, the turf that we are using, we don't have any stadium in Ghana, our pitch in papa, we need to put in. That thing we do is a cost. It's a cost because we want to arrive at a point. Now, when we are not able to arrive at a point, then you can tell me it's a loss. But the cost should be able to propel you to win the African Cup of Nations. Into coach the Nations Cup. Now, after all this cost we put into it, pay him so much money, giving him backroom staff money, build it. Now, say, winning Nations Cup. Now, Sasika spending making sure he wins the Nations Cup is 6 million. Now, the Nations Cup, you win $10 million. Now, to also call a World Cup, you win $30 million. Will you call that cost as a loss? No. Into the MPP are struggling between loss and cost. And then Momoka say IMF say by Goldboard Aboka, Sammy Gyamfi. The Goldboard has not messed up any money. Because you can say introduce the Goldboard. Now you said yeah. Now PMMC or say you want a Goldboard here. Why is Goldboard doing something different? Because the things they are doing, it is geared towards something positive. In the end, Sammy Gyamfi bet my catch say I've brought in over $15 billion. Not everybody can bring it in. Why? Because at a cost, we've been able to achieve this. At a cost, you will achieve what you want to achieve. Unless it's over catch them say, Sammy Gyamfi the $300,000 spent a buy, and the cost 1.7. That I can record as a loss. But as we speak, the cost at the end of the day has achieved 15 billion. So why do you say it's a cost? It's a loss. It's not a loss. But on say MPP for Jimmy. The MPP are stupid. They be telling us Jimmy, social media for, radio for. They are stupid to the point they don't understand the basics. But these are things that you want to do politics. In terms of the Sammy Gyamfi buyer or bet it's not about the law, so it's about Sammy Gyamfi muadie. I don't know, Kasa Afenyo-Markin kwasi ampenyi sa. Na Afenyo-Markin ni mnyansa. So onya kwasia or a lawmaker ni mnyansa. The kind of words he used in his press conference go be you see. The MPP is stupid. Jimmy. So there's no loss here. It was a cost that needed to be able to get to the point where we wanted to get to. And the Goldboard umbrella, 15 billion and over, because of that cost we put in. And from day one, the administrative cost can never be a loss. When the administrative cost is not less than what? The outcome, it is never a loss. Now, the administrative cost is less than the end game, what they got as a result. The administrative cost, if even it is 1.7 billion. Then through that administrative cost, we have 15 billion. So where is the loss? It's a simple question. And Debiano, we went on a break. I was watching, listening to people. And you can see there are so many people on TV, radio, with Jimmy. They don't know what they are talking about. Even the statement from the IMF report, it was clearly telling Ghana for say, you know what? To achieve this, it needs to come at a cost. And that is where we are. And it's also 1.7 billion against 15 billion as the end product. Why do you call 1.7 billion a loss? Because let's say $15 billion, you enter 1.7 billion from it's still profit. So say Goldboard catcher will say, I'm gonna make it profit. Kwasia, or nyansa, papa, and I say Goldboard has made a loss. That jandam is not working. The idea of the MPP, Afenyo-Markin say, I'm better to be good from him. It doesn't work like that. Go back and take your time. Analyze the situation. Into the Sammy Gyamfi canon. That is it. He has made profits. Let's give it to you people. Sammy Gyamfi and Bank of Ghana. At the end of the day, the market they were in the market they went into to buy the gold. They made a loss of 1.7 billion. Now they made a profit of 15 billion. Now take 1.7 billion from 15 billion. You can't tell me a loss is in here. So they are struggling to differentiate between loss and cost. What they did, in fact, if I could get the team, I wish I could. Team, I wish I could bring a document, but every good thing comes with a cost. And as far as at the end of the day, the end result is greater than the cost, there's no loss. And IMF could not explicitly say, Goldboard and our Bank of Ghana making loss. No, because they wanted to get to a point. And then the explanation of that one, example, you buy a car for 100,000 Ghana cedis and spend 10,000 maintaining it. The 10,000 is a cost. See explanation. When you buy a car for 100,000 Ghana, now with the 10,000 and maintaining car, it is a cost. Now, if you later sell the car for 70,000, you have a 30,000 loss on the purchase. Now you understand. So what they did, what the Bank of Ghana, Sammy Gyamfi at a cost, if they can get enough gold, it comes at a cost. If they can get enough revenue from the money, Bank of Ghana, it comes at a cost. That cost, you cannot say it's a loss. Anytime we're bringing it down all the way to a Black Stars level. Anytime we're bringing it down all the way to Manchester City level. Into Manchester City bada bang Arab money. The Arab money that came, basically they put somewhere a bit me yielded that result. Intende one of the biggest clubs in the world, over Manchester City. I didn't know about Bolton. But the issue is because people cannot, MPP, you cannot mix costs with loss. You can't do that. You can never do that. And that is what they are forcing into the system. Where in the document and a chest Sammy Gyamfi boka a Bank of Ghana maniska or no government can way Bank of Ghana maniska, and they made sure that somebody with enough gold about it should come at a cost. How do you do that? If you're going to trace the gold, if you're going to employ, if you're going to make sure that you are sane and it is done legitimately, you're going to make sure people are not smuggling, it comes at a cost. So that administrative cost is not a loss. That is what actually yielded that end gamer 15 billion and over. No? So get that right. And the kind of moment here, a Juma and this in Sammy Gyamfi is solid. Yeah, as far as the Goldboard is in existence, the MPP can never come to power. Oma try Bibia and say no more AXA. And Omo Jampo ba a petition. They don't know where to tackle because Omo ba omiano wa bon na yiri di Sledge-Blast. Dr. Sledge na to go now they can 97 million. Omo ba omia no or di Sledge-Blast, but omia does not have brains to think. We need to get these things right. They know Baumia has no room in our politics. So Baumia in 2028, Oba as what? Is he coming as an economist? And when he was given the nod, what did he do as an economist? Is Baumia coming to tell us, say, our better plans to change Goldboard, Anna? Baumia Bekache say, only economics to change, and yet the finance minister, Anna. Baumia Bekache say, Obefejuma way. These are people who have no aim. They are aimless. They are junkies. They are jokers. They don't know what to do again. And so they think, say, almost started Jandam, almost starting in Mrebi. Oh, John Koto will tell her, oh, where you are, not that time, it's not going to work again. Jandam can never exist in our politics again. We are going to ask the questions. Oh, say, Sammy Gyamfi press conference, you know, what's your argument? They have moved from MP and Goldboard Aboka to Sammy Gyamfi Mwadi and Kwasiafo. Afenyo-Markin Kwasiam Penya, or did you jantra for we? Or Kasa said, I agree a big gunenum. Or Kasa Montmentunfo. Kwasiam Penya is an Kasara by heart. Now, Korada Yinanoa. Or the Yan say Yinanoa must say, Akrani Mwadi. We want you people to prove exactly where Bank of Ghana making that 1.7 million billion loss. There's no way they could not show one document. And you see, Mama Ghana for here, Assembly Bar, Munya would say, MPP Omo Jimmy, they are naturally foolish. They were born stupid. Their leadership is stupid. They don't have a plan. Afenyo-Markin yamani nipa 187 was in parliament. Omo nyina ko fie akabe 88. Onimu nyansa. As far as he's there, I'm happy because Afenyo-Markin who a minority leader, the NDC will flourish. Because wait, Jimmy, it is about emotions, sentiments. Today he's working here. Arabak Tokonu will become a CJ. He doesn't know. It's all about his relationship, what he did with people behind the scenes. It is not about the collective good of the party. Now MPP for Jimmy, they cannot differentiate between a leader and a sentimental fool. They don't get it. They don't understand it. The guy is emotionally attached to his stupid ego. He does not understand to say the politics we are doing today is different. He does not understand to say he's leading a group of monkeys who are supposed to reason like him. On Chelsea, into Onyabe Bitna, talking about DCJ, Onyabe Bitna, you have power, Onyabe Bitna, where Korea way. As a member of parliament, somebody who is part of the legislature, you could not provide one document to back your statement. Are you stupid? And we are going to support the Goldboard. We are going to support Sammy Gyamfi. We are going to make sure, sir. Germany announced as a bar and the dollar the age 11-10. No, that is what we will do. Upia berewa baby oko wudi emfa me ho. Me ka che John ni NDC for say mobile dollar na was 17 about me record 17 months so baby edinu for 2 years almost 2 years we gina ho na mpe it was 10 11. And until me to aba and until me ye dede say MPP for nkwasi afo free power. Me de baby ombesuma berewa na koto no. Baby oko wudi emfa me ho. Right now businesses, Obiasika is intact. Amount for capital is still there. We today, this is what we saw. This is what we have in the system today. Today. Messiah, I not pick that one. DDEP, this government or settle a car. This finance minister. We need to get serious. How many story be Goldboard, the internet Goldboard, ebe protect your gold. ebe making sure say eyo mom ye galamsey ye be streamline it obi antimi to galamsey gold enwane ye benya dollar ye betuma to gold ye nyanka se be oni ye beton and eno na ekoso no enti ye de atwa ne payday ye atwan any payday enti ba omi ase oba power ba den. We are asking a simple question. Mahmoud Bawumia MPP omo ba power ba den omo be Goldboard na ye nya sika wo he na ye support economy no omo ba power omo ba ye den Bawumia den na obeye mo bodam ye ni abre de tia no muni manka.
There's been a call for a parliamentary probe, and I've already stated on public record that I'm waiting with bated breath for Afenyo-Markin's invitation. And I don't know why he's delaying and holding press conferences when, as minority leader, he can get the Public Accounts Committee to summon me tomorrow or today, and I will appear. I saw him dabbling in some confusion about standing orders of parliament and the fear that the majority may oppose a call for a probe into this matter. Well, I have, in all humility, reached out to the new majority leader in Parliament, Honorable James Agaga, and I've pleaded with him that even if Afenyo delays in extending this invitation, he should extend the invitation to me. And I'm ready to come tomorrow. You don't need any special motion. You don't need any special order by the speaker. Just get Public Accounts Committee to invite us and come and sit down there and come and demonstrate to the whole nation where the Goldboard made losses or how the Goldboard is to blame for losses made by another institution. We are waiting for that. There's been a call for a parliamentary probe
into improved economic conditions for the Ghanaian people. Afenyo-Markin's continuing antics, and I want you to listen to me very carefully here. Afenyo-Markin's continuing antics must therefore be seen for what they are: a desperate smear campaign by persons who have specialized in sophistry and political blackmail in pursuit of selfish ends. These are devious extortionists who will come at you with lies to tarnish your reputation in the hope that you will fold and settle for what they call, quote, compulsory arbitration and oil their palms. Well, this time around, they found their own target. The Ghanaian people deserve serious public discourse founded on facts, evidence, truth, and not endless recycling of falsehoods in the hope that repetition will lend them credibility and turn fiction to facts. Goldboard will remain focused on his mandate. We will continue to account transparently for our stewardship, and we will not be distracted from the important work of creating value for the Ghanaian people from the exploitation of the good resources of our
management. Ladies and gentlemen, is simply intended to address a number of baseless allegations and deliberate falsehoods concerning the operations and financial health of the Ghana Goldboard that have been propagated by certain individuals in recent times. Of particular concern is a persistent campaign of lies being waged by one Alexander Afenyo-Markin and his ilk against the Goldboard over the past couple of months. This sustained, relentless campaign reached a reckless crescendo yesterday at a press conference addressed by him within the precincts of Parliament. Afenyo-Markin's modus operandi, which can no longer be allowed to go unanswered, is to repeat the same tired falsehoods as often as possible and on many platforms as he can, in the hope that repetition will somehow transform fiction into facts and mislead unsuspecting members of the public. The Goldboard therefore deems it necessary that the record be set straight once and for all to prevent him and others like him from continuing to distort the remarkable performance and transformational impact of the Ghana Goldboard.
Now we all know what Afenyo-Markin stands for. He's a liar. Every liar is a thief. This is a man who slaps police officers. This is a man who deliberately disrespects the president by calling a woman who has been appointed by the president to take a petition from. This is a fool. This is a man who sent thugs to go after another man that he took his wife. His brother raped, trying to molest somebody's son. This is a man who called somebody in court, somebody fighting for the lives of his kids, to threaten them. This is a fool who sends his colleague from his law firm to adapt people's kids from their school. He's a filthy, dirty fool. Onimunyansa. This is somebody who stood in public trying to say that judges, our Supreme Court judges, without any evidence, said on national television that our Supreme Court judges ganged up, came together. This guy, who is a filthy lawyer, is not somebody to be trusted. Oh, yeah, Jimmy Four. He is doing everything possible to keep this position that he has failed in. He came to meet 130-something people in parliament. Because of his foolishness and stupidity, they have all left parliament. This is a guy who can never be a leader of a group. Consistently lies about everything, malign people and try to destroy their lives in the name of politics. We are not supposed to entertain Afenyo-Markin and his foolishness. He proves nothing. He has no evidence. All that he does is spits around, stupidly protecting Tokon, who was found guilty of a crime. And what makes this guy an honorable fool for us to be entertaining in parliament? We're sitting in Ghana. This young man, Sammy Gyamfi, responds to this fool, and the MPP are saying, oh, you talked back at Afenyo-Markin, the idiot. But when he was speaking, why didn't you people question him? The guy has been a consistent fool who does not have any respect with him. Me a minority leader, a minority of 88 piglets. None of these people are able to sit this guy down to say, party, no. Before you go out to speak, don't speak like Salakau. Have some evidence. You see, Patricia PJ, Mamia Brewa, Poso, Neto Jene, na Akora Kitikitu, Alberto Nachempena, Awunechi, Edinechima, O Jimmy, no evidence. In Penifua Danem Kwara, more than year Jimmy for because of politics. We should swallow every nonsense. The LPP knows what's better for them. Until they change this dwarf, they can never win power. And the next 42 years is going to multiply to 60 years. And this is what we're talking about. We are talking about people who are not leaders. Where in this world now the team every first division, every premiership, akwa third division, na nkwasi afọ mo deep coach nechi. Akwa we di mo nim call elections na mo tumi, more power. Mo ye wiase bibia. This guy could not win power for you. Mo da di Jimmy wechi. Every single day, screaming, backing, slapping policemen, going against the law, stupidly showing his ignorance at every corner that he finds himself. And you people think you are doing something different. You are doing nothing. The guy is a piece of crap. It's garbage. He does not understand his environment and how he needs to act. Into more mana, more MPP, he is just using you for money. What he came to do against Sammy Gyamfi was to intimidate him and extort. That is what he does. It was to extort from him. It was to make him feel, say, you are doing something wrong, but there's nothing wrong. And that is his modus. He has been doing this for years. Let me attack him. Let him threaten him. Me say we NPP, NDC appointee. Now we hear Juma now no fool should scare you. You bet you what to mob bodam. Power sasa, power besa. And that is his strategy. Otna aya ECG as a board chair. Obo kabu buro kwasi ampeni nkoso dem. Ghana ni enka no krentira. Afenyo-Markin, when he slapped a police officer, he was supposed to be jailed. Now Attorney General when I meant to say this Attorney General has a problem. Afenyo-Markin should be facing trial. And we sit in Ghana, Jimmy Bianyama to me, 87 piglets walking on the streets of Ghana, misbehaving and fooling themselves. Yachiwun to me, his actions has caused a lot of deaths. Nankwa siafwa motokan kind to say yantiasie, mo bodam, mo petumi, mo de yadeng. What do you need the power for? A day in a honorable woman. What makes you honorable people? Now, to Facebook, don't put evidence, no kasa. Now, who will see a leader of 87 piglets? You have no evidence. How different are you from that person? And these are people who are not supposed to be addressed as honorable. Afenyo-Markin is a bully. He's an extortionist. On Kanokre, that is what he has been doing in his political life. Then you are going to threaten somebody, he will go to jail. In the political life, nobody is going to fall for this. Obia wedi boni also go jail. No, he needs to go to jail. Power sasa ochirichia munchi obi antum kwasi asembe no. Now fighting the corruption here the same. Ye di mwatema mo say ye muade unimi age aka krebi me di 50 years. Kwasia unimi age unhwinim aka krebi me di 50 years. Otu ase Kevin Taylor small boy na obra mabo bi. Mo bodam. A politician needs to respect himself. And so ambunu ho e be di natem and no fool can speak. Then obey. Me wi awade o. I am telling you, say, a politician will do it in with Jimmy. And that guy is a typical example of a fool. Now, a whole political party. You had this number in parliament. Akwa did leader ever seen there. Where you nipa almost over half of your party lose elections. Na mo Jimmy intimidate no didi akwa wait. Hey leader, hey way or hey, Jimmy mo petu me. Football team 3rd division for Krampo H and you coach. Akwa odi mo nimu Jimmy. Ya catch them. You consistently follow this fool. On fa bibia meka mo ho. It's just to scream. All that he does is he pulls his dick out and follow Tokonu and say, Tokonu come to power. Tokonu come to power. Pissing himself off. Every day, watching the quarter and Tokonu come to power. You think Tokonu Ghana belongs to her? Tokonu, you didn't think Ghana belongs to her? Yeah, oh yeah, and home for solo and nobody can impose Tokonu on anyone in Ghana. Yes. Well, Araba Tokonu na kwa yere papa ye man no. Also na pado bio zeb na watch quarter and Tokonu beba Tokonu beba CJ. Tokonu, you think you are stupid in this country? What Tokonu deserves is what she's gotten. We are not going to entertain foolishness. Unya to me ajeli, but today the law needs to apply. Whoever is found guilty needs to go inside. Mo bottom. After this short break, we will continue the show.